Hi, I'm Grace, and this is the Fighting Club podcast, a space where being together makes us stronger. Take a break and hang out with me and Christine. Yay, Christine! I'm so excited that you get to be featured in my podcast. Thanks so much for being here.
Me too. I'm glad to, finally come on. And I was so honored at some of the mentions in season one. So thank you.
Yes, you're you're our local celebrity on our podcast, and I was like, Christine will make her debut at the appropriate time because we were just talking about how you've been my longest closest friend so in my life. So I'm just excited.
Same. No, same for me. Yeah. And I mean, we really overcame a lot of obstacles. Not
Mhm.
that like anyone was trying to keep us apart,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we didn't live in the same place, go to the same high school, go to the same college.
Yeah.
You were in and out of New York for a while, although now
Yes.
you're back.
I know it's just so wild. Like, yeah, the roller coaster of our friendship and where life takes us, but still. Because it's been how many years now? Like over 20 years.
It's been 20 over 25 years.
It's been over 25 years. Oh my God.
I don't
Over
want
a
to
century.
reveal how incredibly old we are now, but yes.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. But for folks who don't know who Christine is, she is my longest childhood best friend from Georgia. She is also just a badass in her own field. She's a partner at a management consulting company, works with consumer clients in beauty and fashion across strategy, transformation, due diligence. And I am just so grateful for the investment that we both put into our friendship from our teenage years to the 20s and 30s. And I just feel like I've benefited so much from how we poured into our own friendship personally and also spiritually and professionally too. So
Me too. Thank you, Grace.
thank you. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go backwards in time to when we met in middle school. Do you remember our first impressions of each other and how we first met?
I don't remember the first meeting because I just kind of feel like we were always friends. Do you
Yeah.
remember when we first met? Can you
Yeah.
enlighten me?
I kind of remember us meeting at a there was this like Korean woman or a man who like used to do tutoring specifically about reading English literature when we were in middle school. And we were in the same Korean American intensive like English literature reading and comprehension class after school. And I think we were reading like Dante's Inferno or Paradise Lost and like dissecting it. And we were in that
Mhm.
same class. Do you remember that?
I remember that class. Yeah, I do remember that class. And in retrospect, that was really special because that doesn't happen normally, I think. Like
I
I read
know.
Dante's Inferno again in college as part of my English major.
I know exactly. These are like really
Yeah,
intense books to read in high
right.
school and then to like it was a small group of maybe five or six of us, and it was just trying to understand the meaning of life and like the seven layers of hell and then understanding the different layers of like heaven and purgatory and but that's what I remember as being our first meeting
Mhm.
in that class setting, but we became a lot closer in the Pink Church.
Yeah.
We call the Pink Church in Georgia, which was literally a pink church
Hmm. Hmm.
in Atlanta where a lot of Korean American families went.
Yeah. I, for some reason,
Huh.
cannot remember a lot about that class. I do remember going there,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
remember you at Pink Church. Like, I just remember we had this really special nerdy friend group
Yeah.
there, and
We did.
Yeah, I don't
Not just
know.
nerdy, but we were kind of like the organizers. We like planned the Christmas play.
Mm-hmm.
We led Bible study for the middle schoolers. We did the summer camps. Like we were
Yeah.
basically like adult children leading the youth ministry at our church,
Yes. No, totally.
right?
I was thinking about that because I was like, you know, I always kind of wished to have older people around me to
Mhm.
lead me, but we really never had that. It was just us
Yep.
taking the charge because there wasn't anyone else available. And then
Mhm.
I think the good thing is we all had each other
Yeah.
as a resource and
Um,
just, and I was actually thinking about it because as a parent, I get served so many of these like parenting reels.
oh,
And one of them that's on top of mind is like this idea of having multiple friend groups. So,
oh,
like, you have a friend group with sports, you have a friend group at school.
yeah.
We had our friend group at church, and it like provides this cushion when
Yeah.
there's like inevitably drama,
Yeah.
in one friend group, and you just have like multiple sources of support. And I
Yeah.
never thought about it like that, but I think that's something that we had, at the Pink Church together.
That's true. I honestly found it to be kind of like a safe haven and
Mm-hmm.
just this, I don't know, a space where we could fully be ourselves when we were in high school, when there's
Mm-hmm.
just so much growth and uncertainty about the world. And also like we all ended up, most of us ended up leaving Georgia and going to school
Yeah.
at a state too. And um I feel like it helped to know that there would be other people leaving Georgia that we
Mm-hmm.
knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the summers coming back home to Georgia too and spending time together. And I don't know. I'm really grateful that we did have that friend group.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you, me, and Jen literally going to each other's houses and doing college applications
Oh
together.
yeah, that's right. Before the
Yeah.
midnight deadlines and stuff. I remember that. Ugh, I totally forgot. Yeah, that was so wild. And then I just like reflected on my first experience experiencing Greek life at your college campus
Oh.
at
Mm-hmm.
UPenn. I was
Mm-hmm.
visiting you for the first time our freshman year, and I walked into a room and everyone was seated, and suddenly some people like made signs with their hands and didn't say anything, and they all got up and left. Like five of them got up and left. And I was like, "What's going on?" And no one explained anything to me. And I was freaking out because like I went to a college where there was no Greek life, so
Right.
I didn't know what rushing and Greek life was. It was weird.
Well, it was super common at my school. And when you say it like that, it absolutely does sound like a cult. And I think at
I
that
think
time,
I was like, what is going on? No
no,
one's
I,
telling me
I
anything.
remember. And I mean, at the time, I was a freshman.
Yeah.
I was so deep in it. It's kind of hard to see those elements when you're deep in it and taking it super seriously as you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Although in defense, obviously, of the sorority, lots of leadership, so much fun.
Yeah.
You learn so much. We did these like crazy heart to hearts where we would like get everyone in a room at least once a semester to like hash it out. And
Oh.
I'm still friends with a lot of the girls from there.
Do you feel like that's something that you would want your for your own daughter in the future to have like a sister? It's almost like a sisterhood friend group on the college campus, if it's like through a sorority because you experienced it, or what do you think about when you're thinking about friend groups that helped you become who you are, go through the things you had to in college and what you want for your daughter?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't think I would push her into it. I think
Hmm.
with her, we're very much about helping her pursue her own interests.
Yeah.
She's already so different from me.
Yeah, she's a
Um,
free spirit.
she is,
We
yeah,
love that about her.
yeah, yeah. So, I wouldn't oppose it. Like, for me, it was such a great experience. I have lifelong friends from it. But I don't consider it something that is generationally in the family that all the women
Yeah.
should do.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes it is like the sorority frat, like sisterhood and
Hmm.
brotherhood. Like it can be like something that parents want to be part of their legacy building and share it to the next generation. So I was just curious. But what was it about the sorority community and sisterhood that like you benefited so much and you enjoy?
I think it's really the relationships,
Mm.
and it's interesting because something about that initial pledging and going through hardship together, I think accelerates just
Mm.
closeness. And, I think this happens at work too with,
Mm.
work friends. Um,
When things
and
get
then
hard, it like bonds you together.
Yeah, and then in the end it's still an organization. So we ran events, we ran parties, different things together. So it was a lot of just working together too,
Mm.
and a great mix of a great mix of both.
Mm.
And I guess similar theme to our Pink Church group.
Yeah.
It was a very kind of driven, ambitious
Yeah.
group of women.
I know it would. I'm just thinking about our friend groups. Like we like to have a good time and like honestly,
Mhm.
like support each other in all the different ways, but we're all very driven and have a lot of like personal and professional goals. And I think it's just so funny that
I'm
like
I'm so thankful for that though, because my parents grew up in Korea and they didn't really know
Mm.
how to do any of that stuff. No one around us was really in that universe. And I literally learned about college admissions in the library through books or, reading
Yeah.
online and obviously through you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember in high school, I didn't take any AP classes sophomore year because we were just
Parents
none
didn't
of
know
my parents
either.
did not
Yeah.
know, and they didn't have the right network of friends. They just did
Yeah.
not know what they didn't know. And
Right.
I really found out about it through my friends, through you guys. And
Mm.
then similarly, in college, I didn't
Mm.
have all of these built-in networks, but I think through my sorority sisters, through other friends, like was able
Mm.
to find different opportunities.
Mm. Yeah, it's like also because we're the oldest children in our
Mhm.
families. You with your two younger brothers and me with younger brothers and sisters, like we had to forge a new path and no one was telling us what to do. So we really lean on each other
Yeah.
as a resource. Yeah, too. Okay, going back to UPenn, do you remember like when Facebook had just come into the scene? I was obsessed.
Oh my God. Yes, I do remember that. First of all, there was a physical Facebook when
Yes.
I started school. You
Yeah.
order it before school,
Yeah.
and I had that.
Yeah.
I wish I still had it, but I gave it to some upperclassmen who wanted to borrow it to like
Yeah.
scope out the class, and obviously he never gave it back.
He wanted to see the new freshman girls coming onto campus too,
He
probably.
said it was for his frat, but you're probably right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was used for both
Yeah.
purposes. But yeah, so I do, but then it didn't matter that I didn't need the physical version because we had the online version. And you were so obsessed with it, Grace. Like my biggest memory from that era
When
was
they
like,
visited you on campus, yeah.
yes, you visited me on campus and it was so fun. I'm like giving you the tour. We're walking all around campus. You have your cell phone. You're like, checking it on Facebook on the go. Inevitably, your battery runs out.
Yep.
Like classic.
Yeah.
And then we were gonna like go to dinner or we had something next.
Yeah.
And we were miles away from my dorm. And you were basically like, okay, but Christine, can we please go back to your room? Like, I
Yeah.
need to go back now. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, why? Did you leave something? Are you okay? And you were like, I need to check my Facebook.
Facebook.
You were like, I cannot. And I remember like we did this and I was
Yeah.
like, Grace, you are insane.
Yeah. I'm already addicted. That was the beginning
Yeah.
of
Well,
getting addicted to social media before it
has
became on our phones.
has that continued? Like, what are you
Really?
addicted to now?
Well, not only that, okay, I don't think we had Facebook on our phones yet. That's why we had to go to your room to look it up on a web
Oh,
browser.
is that why? So you were checking
Yeah.
something else. Like you were doing something else, but you were
Yeah.
just like, we've been out of the room for like an hour. Like,
Yeah,
I
we need
need
to
to
go
go
back
back.
because I need to see what's happening on my newsfeed and see if anyone posted anything on my Facebook wall. I need to just see what's going on. I just
Wow.
FOMO, which is so crazy that that's where it started. And I wonder if anyone else during that time when Facebook first came onto college campuses how it just became an obsession because definitely like now Instagram is like where I
Mm-hmm.
go and I'm scrolling and it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
more intense than the Facebook newsfeed back in the days. It's all these videos. We didn't have like
Yeah.
videos, just like like still photos and like comments that people wrote, like their
Mm-hmm.
thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like it was a one-dimensional medium, but now I feel like it's almost like two, three-dimensional
Yeah.
in
Yeah. It's
shorter content.
multi-sensory now. Yeah.
And then there's multiple social media platforms. So like it's so wild that that was like the beginnings of.
Yeah, it is wild and it spread so quickly. Like I remember when it launched, it was just a certain subset of schools,
Yep.
and then they expanded and expanded. And I distinctly remember there was one flight I was on, like going to or from school,
Mhm.
and you land and the sound goes off and everyone gets up or whatever. And like I looked forward and everybody had their phone on and it was like a sea of blue. Like everybody was
Oh my
checking
goodness.
their Facebook. This is before you could get Wi-Fi for free, on flights. So that's like instantly they were just like you. Like I think you were not different from
Yeah.
how many people felt about their Facebook at the
Yep.
time.
No, but I think it was uh
You
anyway.
have some amazing like tech stories though, Grace, because like
Tell me.
the other memory is another time when
Uh-huh.
I think I visited you and
Uh-huh.
I was visiting you.
At BC.
No, in DC.
Oh, in DC. Okay.
And we were walking around, we're out and about, and this time you were obsessed with Candy Crush.
Ah,
And
I remember my Candy Crush
you
phase.
ran out your battery on playing Candy Crush. And one of your ex-boyfriends was with us, and you were like, hey, I need to use your phone to play Candy Crush.
Really?
Yes.
I could keep
And
crushing candies.
yeah, I mean, well, we're like,
Out.
we're out and about, but you're just crushing the candies, like doing the thing. And I was like, Grace, are you okay?
Like, okay, I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to take it into my therapy sessions and figure out what's going on with my addiction to these like things, these apps and social media things. Because now I'm like obsessed with this other game where I'm just like merging things and building things, and it's been a year and a half, and I just like
What's the game?
it's called Mergetopia. You just keep
I'm
merging and building things.
I'm gonna need to look that up.
It's like don't do it. You can look it up, but like it's
But don't do it.
all
Don't get addicted.
don't get addicted. It's like small dopamine hits, I feel like. So I
Hmm.
feel
Hmm.
like I've achieved something that's very tangible. Like I like merge five things and
Ooh.
it gets becomes a little like from a bean to a sprout to like a bigger plant to like a tree. So it's like it's almost like my escape. And I don't think that's a healthy thing at all. That
Is it like a puzzle? Like or it's just like you spend time and you like nurture.
yeah, there are puzzles in it too.
Mhm.
But I mean, these games are all made so that you just like, you know,
Can't put it down.
put it down, you're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. So when I was like walking around in DC, like on my phone playing a game, how did that make you feel as a friend?
I think I just thought it was really funny. Like I think the whole Facebook thing way back when already adjusted my expectations. I was like, you good. I think you're crazy, but in the hilarious in a hilarious way.
Yeah, you're very gracious. I feel like that takes away from being present with you as a friend. So I just feel bad. I'm sorry. I need to work on that.
That's okay. No, don't worry. I
Yeah.
did not take it personally as you
Yeah.
as you can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah, it is. It's a good sense of humor you have. But let's go into, how right after college we both ended up in New York,
Mhm.
and what that season was like, and how exciting it was that we were both in New York.
Yeah, no, I remember being on the phone with you senior year.
Yep.
I love that at the time we were like having phone calls, catching
Yes.
up, and you were deciding between job opportunities and one was in New York. And I was like, please come to New York. Please
Yes,
come. And you did
yes,
come, and I was so happy.
me too.
Um, I don't know. It was just such fun times. Like, I think, just being newly in the city, so
Mm,
young,
mm,
carefree,
mhm,
only like fond memories. And,
mhm.
you were there for me after we got robbed at gunpoint.
I
Do you
was just
remember that?
thinking about that.
That
I was like, the
was
one story I
crazy.
remember was when you and Mina got robbed at gunpoint in the Upper East Side, right in your
Yeah.
on your block where your
Yeah.
home is.
Stark transition from me 2 seconds ago being like, it was beautiful and
Oh, that's
wonderful.
where my mind directly went
Yeah.
to.
Um, no, but
Talk
yeah,
back to what happened then and how did you
yeah.
even get in contact?
So yeah, it's like we literally got robbed right outside of our apartment. There were a ton of people across the street. It was this guy at gunpoint,
Yeah,
and he stole my phone, like my whole bag, everything that was in it. And we had just moved to New York. We didn't
right.
have a ton of
Things.
friends or people.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I feel like Facebook is the third person in this podcast because I didn't have anyone's number memorized. And
Yeah,
what was
that's
I going to do?
right.
And I literally went to Facebook, and you, thank God, did have your number on Facebook or something. And I
Was
remember
it
calling you
me? I
from
think
the police station.
didn't you call my
Oh,
brother? You went to my
oh
brother's
yes. No,
house.
you're right. I called
Yep.
your brother, but I somehow got to you
For my brother
through
because
Facebook.
yes.
And
Yes,
like
because
we stayed at your place, like all that stuff.
you stayed with me and Lena.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I'm just thinking back at that too, because on Facebook, the third person entity in our story, Save Our Lives,
We
uh,
are not paid by
we're
Facebook,
not
by the
paid by
way, to say
Facebook, now
this.
called Meta. But like, as women, we didn't feel comfortable putting our phone numbers on our Facebook profiles, but boys
Oh.
did, and that's why my brother, John, had his number on his Facebook, and so you called him, and then he called me so that I we can get in contact with each
Oh
other.
my God. No,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. All I
yep,
kind of like remember is
yeah,
like I definitely reached you, but you're
yeah,
absolutely right. I I
yeah,
did I did call him, and I remember being like, "Hey, John,
yeah,
remember me? Like
yeah,
Grace's friend
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
Georgia?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that we had technology to connect us even back then.
Yeah, that your brother picked. I mean, all of the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a crisis, I feel like for my brother's very reliable. My brother and sister, like I can count on them to answer the phone. They'll be like, we
Yeah.
need to answer this. So, oh, that was so crazy. Yeah. So that was, even though we had a lot of fun times, we went out, we were like
Hmm.
really involved in the same like church small group,
Right,
like a
right.
group of like people who had all graduated from college at the same time. So we're all the same age, and we'll go like to picnic at Central Park and make like cook for each other, different things. Yeah, I remember that. Are there any other stories that come to mind from that period of our time in New York City in our 20s?
Um, I remember, I mean, I know like both of us, we worked a lot,
Yes.
but you were so impressive because you still made it work to play. And
So
I just remember, I'm like Tuesday
fun.
getting texts from you starting Tuesday of the week being like, "Hey girl, you want to go to happy hour today?" And I was
At
like,
third floor in Korea.
yeah. And I was like, I love you, but I'm working. It's Tuesday. But you would text me. It would start Tuesday, and I think there was something Thursday.
Yeah. Tell you
Obviously,
like
there's stuff Friday,
oh,
Saturday.
yeah.
I love it though. I think you like lived it up the right way,
No, I
Or
definitely did with Lena. Yeah, we would go out all the time. It was definitely like the philosophy, like work hard, party hard, because we're working so hard. And I was like so stressed out being a
yeah.
litigation paralegal at this like big corporate law firm. But I remember it was such a treat when you did come out, and it's usually for my birthday you would come out and we would have so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're like, I'm not coming out. You guys are crazy. I'm just gonna stay in. I'm like, okay, I'll see you like for dinner. But you
To
would
my
always just
defense,
hang
I was
out.
working. A lot of times
You
I
were
was
working.
working.
You were.
Yeah, but yes, I definitely wasn't out in the same way.
No, you're more a homebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you know what I think it was for me is that like I didn't like really experience going out and party culture
Yeah.
until I turned 21. And so it was like much later for me. So when I got to New York, that was like my like really experiencing what it's like to go out
Hmm.
and like party and stuff. And I think also not having experienced Greek culture and Greek life on my
Right.
campus, like I just didn't have as much exposure the way that maybe other people have. And so like
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
almost like what people went through in their high school or college years, I experienced when I got to New York.
Yeah, which I mean, I
Yeah,
think everybody should be able to have that
yeah,
experience. And I think you're so right. Like in
yeah,
college,
yeah,
we had we had so much fun and we were out, Thursday through Saturday and not
yeah.
we still didn't really do Tuesdays even in college. But
Oh
we
my
had so much
God.
fun there and no, and it was so much fun when we did go out. I
Yeah,
mean, another common theme here, but like
yeah.
tech and I just remember there was this one time period where you would like call me or catch up, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I lost my phone again," or "I lost my camera again."
Oh my God, I
You
would lose my
remember
phone
that?
regularly. Yeah,
No,
and my digital cameras.
yes. And I remember there was this one time when we went out together. I think it was
Yeah.
at this like hookah bar or something, and
Yes, I
and
remember.
and you had lost your camera two times
Yep.
before, and so I was like, "Okay, Grace, I need to go now, but." Do you have your camera? Do you have your
Yeah.
phone? You were like, yeah, I have everything. Because I don't know if you were going somewhere else or, the night
Yeah.
was continuing somewhere. And then literally, and so, but I was like, are you good? And then the next day you were like, oh my God, I lost my camera. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, thanks for checking in on me. Because I remember I left my camera down for a couple of minutes on the table,
Yeah.
to, like dance or something, and then in
Hmm.
that moment, someone took my camera.
Great. I mean, that's different because
Yeah.
that's like not like you misplaced it. You
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know,
Someone stole it.
yeah.
No, but oh, man, I've really matured and grown up since then. Like I never lose my phone, which is now my
Hmm.
camera too, like it is
Hmm.
for everyone else. But like
Yeah.
it used to be, yeah, your phone, your like mobile phone that was like a flip phone. I think it was a Razor or something, Motorola
Hmm.
Razor,
Hmm.
and didn't really have good camera capacity. And you had a separate digital camera. And I'm like carrying these two bulky things around while you're like partying through New York.
Yeah, no, it wasn't conducive,
No,
to your
that's so
going
wild. I
out.
forgot about those times. Yeah. Oh, that was, but yeah, also grateful that we could be in that season in New York at the same time together. And Prisco was in the city too. So that was
Hmm.
really,
Hmm.
really special. Like the three of us were in the city.
Yeah.
And then I went away to grad school in Boston and then to DC, Georgia for work and things like that. But somehow we still like really maintained our friendship and stayed in contact, even when in
Yeah.
city.
I know, I was thinking about that, and I feel like we've both always made an effort
Yeah, we
because
did.
we were always visiting each other, either at each
Yeah.
other's schools or at
Yes.
each other's,
Uh,
place or whatnot. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like those little things, or maybe it's not so little, but that effort that made a huge difference.
yeah, like coming up to New York to spend time and
Hmm.
visit you and you coming to DC.
Yeah.
My life, I remember putting together like a happy hour just for you so you could meet my friends in DC.
I know. I love that trip because I was just like, I was so touched, honestly. Like I just felt like, you plan this weekend of events, starting
Mm.
with the happy hour and different things, in DC, so I could meet your friends, get exposed to your universe, and yeah, no, it was great, great times. And you were just, even then, I was like, wow, Grace, you are so great at just, building relationships, helping people feel welcome, and
Oh.
you were like the star, just moving through with these crowds.
I just feel like ever since I was in high school, I just love bringing people together to have a good
Hmm.
time, and especially people like that could really get along with each other.
Yeah, it's a
So,
gift.
oh, thank you.
Mhm. I don't have that gift, but you've got it.
But when you're in those spaces, you thrive because you love people and you socialize. You can be friends with anyone. So I love that I can bring you along and you're just like chit-chatting with everyone and anyone.
Yeah, once the challenge is getting me there, but once I'm there,
Yeah,
I love it. I'm a,
you're great.
very strong E and
Yeah.
enjoy meeting new people and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. But I've really appreciated again, like thinking about like the investment in energy, time, to be friend, maintain our friendship through the years and being back in New York, in the last like 6, 7 years in my 30s and seeing you become a mom and
Hmm.
transitioning into motherhood, and also continuing to like just kill it in like your professional sphere too and support each other just through the challenges that life brings us naturally as we get older too. So
Yeah, I mean, I've loved, I love that you came back in that era and, you got to know Isla,
yeah.
at a young age. And
Yeah.
it was also fun for me to see your perspective on, parenting and like meeting my kid and everything.
Yeah.
And my one of my most distinct memories is like, I don't know if you remember this, but you came over as you did. I mean, you were over all the time.
Yeah.
And Isla was maybe two, and Slime was just
Oh
having this
my God, yes. It's a
huge
good story.
moment.
Yes.
And then inevitably, like she had the slime.
How old was Isla at the time? That's a good context too.
Yeah, she was so young. And we were all talking, like we were all like having a great time, whatever.
Yeah.
And at some point, we look over at her, and the slime is just all over her hair. Like it was just like on the front. It was like a slime helmet at this point.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
whoa. I mean, like we were new parents. Like we hadn't encountered anything. This was our first
Encounter with
experience
slime
with
and
slime.
children. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we are like, oh my God, like what do we do?
Yeah.
And your immediate response was like, we need to cut off all her hair. And I was
And
like,
teach her a lesson. I was like, she's
oh,
only
is
gonna
that what you
learn.
said?
Yeah, I was like, you gotta cut her hair off so that she realizes if she puts the slime in her hair, these are the consequences.
Okay. So that's such a choice. And I look forward to however you choose
How
to do it
I
with your
raise
kids.
my child when I have one.
I
Yeah.
know. If I ever meet your future child and they have no hair, I'm going to be like, oh, Grace, is this the slime lesson that you finally put into gear? Yeah, I just thought that was like so funny because it was like, Grace, first, let us turn to the internet and
Yes.
see if there's like any other way to salvage
Yes.
her hair. So
Yes. Wasn't Jess there too? Jess
I
Shin.
think Jess was there. I think Jess, she may have been the gifter of the slime, Jess with all her gifts and yeah.
And then I
Um,
think everyone else, you, Jess, and James, you guys are all like, there is another way. We're gonna Google it and figure it out.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
the one just cut her
You
hair.
were
And she was
like,
like,
I don't know why you're bothering with
no.
that. Just cut her hair.
So how did you guys take out the slime? Do you remember?
So I think it was peanut butter or oil or something like that. Like we
Oh,
definitely put some type of substance and then like it kind of
okay.
helps you peel the slime back. But yeah, that was like a really scary moment
No,
there,
it's
you
not
know.
over, Christine. After you guys took the slime out, then she started continued playing with the slime again. And then
Oh,
she put it back in her hair, and then it got in her hair again.
I forgot about
You were gonna, because I remember, because I was like, this is why I was saying to
that.
cut her hair so she
She has to
learns
learn
it.
the lesson.
No, but she is a kid, and you're right. Like that's a harsh way to discipline a child, which just shows like how harshly I was disciplined as a kid, and like
Oh
that's not the
yeah.
way to, because they're kids, they don't have their cortex like totally like developed yet, and so it's just like okay, let's just like give some grace here and know that she's gonna continue making the same mistakes. I think I learned a lot about parenting just from that
Um,
incident.
I will say the strictness came in after like we became a no slime household. So we get slime
Uh,
from goodie bags, from wherever, and gifts,
yeah.
and it would just go away,
Yeah. Yeah.
either in the cabinet for like very supervised use or like most of
Yeah.
the times just
Yeah.
in the garbage.
Because
So
it
we
ruins.
did we did, tighten
Yeah.
that up and a lot
I mean,
after.
that was the first exposure to slime, but I saw slime exposure in my brother's kids, like in their home too, and it would get on the couch. They couldn't get it out in their shirts. Like it was just like so
And
they also have a no slime policy too, except for
smart. Wait,
Mark.
so what advice did you give them when the slime was on the couch?
Oh, I didn't have to. They just like disciplined their kids and
Oh.
just yeah. I was just
Mhm.
like watching from afar. I've grown to learn that I don't have a kid, so I don't know how I'm going to discipline my kid. It's just like watch and see and observe and learn, really learn, because it's just like raising a child is just does not look easy at all. I can't imagine what it was like for our parents to try to raise us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun
Crazy.
though. It's fun.
Yeah.
It does. It is really fun when you can, and this is something I've been working on, is just like being more present,
Mm,
leaving work at work,
mm,
and it goes fast.
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've just been
Mm,
whatever it is that helped me get in this mindset, but it's been really fun and
mm.
um they're at a really fun age.
I'm just also just thinking about like, you know, in this season of being in New York together. I'm really grateful that we get some of this time where, like, when you're in the city for
Mm-hmm.
work meetings and things, that we can just get catch up one-on-one over a meal and like go, window shopping or shopping at like a makeup store together and look at skincare products because that it's just nice to have some like our own time together
Yeah.
and just talk about like the challenges, at work, our personal lives, just the things that we're going through. So I'm really grateful that even though you're in Long Island, like we still get to spend quality time together. Being
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, I love these kind of somewhat more spontaneous hangouts when I'm in the
yeah,
city and just feel very young and carefree again,
yeah,
We're just meeting up after work for a drink. So,
yeah. I mean, when I lived in Queens, which it was a lot easier to get out to Long Island, I think like most holiday weekends, like we would make sure to like spend those weekends like a day.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. That was kind of feeling like family away from
Yeah.
home, because it
Yes.
was like every holiday.
Yeah. It's special. Yeah, and I was really grateful that you and the fam came out to Seattle for our wedding. Like
Hmm.
that was really fun too, because what year was it when you got married?
It was September 2011.
2011. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about like 12 years later, getting married myself,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
like being your maid of honor
Hmm.
in our mid-20s. We're so young, and that was my first time being in a wedding party and didn't know what I was doing. And then
You were amazing. I also didn't know what I was doing.
y'all
So
didn't
I think,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, but like it was just like a full circle moment in our friendship too, like where I could be there for your wedding day back when we were so young and how much we've grown as
Mhm.
adults. And you're able to bring your kids and your husband too to like be there for my wedding day,
Yeah.
Seattle, and for you to just be there in my journey also as I like, navigated dating life and like eventually meeting my now husband too.
So exciting. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, just because we've known each other so long,
Yeah.
we just kind of have known each other and seen each other through all of that. And I still remember when you were, dating and when you met Trevor. And I don't know if you remember, but like it was my baby shower
Mm.
and you were going on a second or third date with him. I think it was with
Oh, I
him
remember. Yes, Jess
after.
organized that baby shower. Yes,
Yes, yes, exactly.
your second child.
My second child. And we were talking about your date and everything.
That's
And
coming up. It was going to be my
yeah,
first date with Trevor.
yes, exactly, exactly. And you know, we didn't know at the time like where that was going. So we were just
Yep.
like, okay, have an amazing time, etc. And then we had this text chain with some of us after, and I remember it was this crazy day, like a couple days later, where
No, it was that night.
oh, it was like that night. Oh yeah, it was like that night going into the next day, and you were like, I don't know who texted first. Maybe you do, because
I think
throughout
I
this
did.
thing, I'm getting the sense that I have a horrible memory. Like your memory for the details is so much better. It's like in the right direction, but mine's just yeah. So okay, so you texted first, and you were
Yeah.
like, guys,
I
it
have a boyfriend.
yeah, yeah.
After that fifth date, I had a boyfriend that night. I emailed you guys or texted, and I was like, I have a boyfriend. And then a few hours later,
I was like, I'm giving birth to my second child.
your baby came early. That's why the baby shower was that
Yeah.
the day before, thinking there's more time, a couple of weeks.
He came a month early. My water broke.
Wild.
And it broke that the night or the morning when I was actually supposed to have also like a goodbye dinner at work or whatnot. And I remember just texting my boss at the time at like 4 a.m. or something. I was like, yeah, so my water broke or like, my baby, like I won't be at the meetings today or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was such a, so I always remember Trevor and my anniversary when we like became official is Ethan's
Hmm.
day.
Yeah, no, same. It's like I kind of know how
How
long
long
their
we've been
relationship is,
together.
not in a creepy way, but only because it's like
It's
Ethan's
Ethan's age.
exact age. Yeah.
Yeah.
5.5 months, you know?
Yeah, that is so also just like a question that we've been talking about and I've been wondering is like how do you navigate motherhood with raising two children and like being a leader in the workplace too and having so much on your plate and ambition and drive.
Yeah. I mean it's definitely not easy and I don't think I do it perfectly, but I think for me it started with just after I had Isla being so sure that I really wanted to, both be a mother, but
Yeah.
also, go back to work and be in the
Yeah.
workplace. And it was different for some of my friends who were also
Yeah.
having kids at the time, where for them it was the opposite. They went from very high-powered finance careers to then being like, actually, no, I really don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on the kids. And for
Hmm.
me, just feeling so clearly that I wanted to do both, it was just a
Yeah.
question of how do I make it work? And
Yeah.
then I think there's a lot of tactical stuff that goes into that around, setting boundaries at work, being strategic about the
Hmm.
type of projects and work and clients you work on,
Hmm.
um, who you work with, and
Hmm.
then obviously having a super supportive partner, I think is
Yeah.
just like another critical piece of it. Like, and having the right support structure around you to make that work.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like I'm also learning every day and along the journey, like even this whole idea of like being more present
Hmm.
mentally for the kids.
Hmm.
I had discovered I was setting boundaries. I was like
Hmm.
setting apart certain time to physically be with the kids. But
Hmm.
then I realized I had this second challenge of then um, being, mentally and emotionally present. So that's something I've been
Hmm.
aware of and working on, a lot more, especially over the past year or so. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think when you're able to, be in that moment, it's really rewarding. And
Hmm.
um, so things like that, it's like continue to evolve and learn like what more to work on even in that context.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about the fact that you would have to be physically, mentally, like just both, all of that be present because you could be there, but then your mind's elsewhere, and then your kids are like, where's mom's at right now?
Yeah, and as they get older, they can call you out on it.
Oh, does Isla do
Yeah.
that? I
Yeah.
could see
I mean,
that.
it's like, Mom, stop saying yeah. It's like,
Yeah, she knows you're
so,
you're
oh,
thinking about
wow.
something else.
Speaking of kids, yeah.
So funny. How does mentorship in your workplace help support the balance in your home life and career too? Or does it not play a role?
Um,
Whether you're getting mentored or giving mentorship.
yeah, I mean, I think it's taken so many different forms for me over time, whether it's like, starting through informal, more informally as you work together and then,
Yeah.
build a relationship with someone, or more, explicitly through coaching,
Mhm.
um, and other things. I think, and I'm so thankful, for everyone who's been a mentor. I think we talked earlier how we really didn't have those people right around us readily available. So being able to find them in the workplace has
Mhm.
been really, really great. And I think other thing I was thinking about was a lot of it upon reflection, is also just putting yourself out there and seeking the
Ah,
mentorship
mm,
and pursuing it and asking people.
mm.
Um, and I think I need to continue to remind myself to do this as well, where I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like some of it is just for me, at least in terms of how I am. I don't know if it's because of my Asian or Korean upbringing or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but I think for me, there was a lot of um, timidity or just like not wanting to bother people that I had to
Mhm.
overcome to just ask for the
Ask for
time and
help.
ask for the
Yeah.
mentorship and ask for the help, and that did not come naturally to me. And occasionally, yes, like you will get a no, or
Right.
it just won't be the right fit. But I think more often than not, it's like, you, as my executive coach would say, like, you really have nothing to lose, and I've only really gained from
Mm.
those experiences. And now that we're talking about it, I'm like, oh, I need to continue to kind of push on that.
No, same here. I'm just thinking about people I want to mentor me too, but I also feel like that tension of like I'm okay with people asking me, but for me to ask people for help in that way, it feels like burdensome and 부담스러워 in Korean, right?
Mm-hmm,
I don't
mm-hmm.
want to be a burden to someone, but it's a good reminder, like even knowing that most people are open to it. It is a matching game too, but that the fact that we're okay with mentoring and being open to it probably means that other people are also out there like they haven't been asked enough to mentor.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think on the flip side of that too is like whenever someone wants to connect with me, I also try my very best to be
Yeah.
as available and,
Supportive.
yeah, like give that back, just thinking about, the various people, the many people in my life who have been so giving and
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Any reflections on our friendship that we want to share? Yeah, so just like thinking about the fact that we can have a conversation about the importance of mentorship in our careers and how that support like helped your career. Um, and I think these are conversations I'm grateful we get to have as friends and peers, even though we're not in the same industry, in the same stage in life of
Hmm.
where we are professionally, that we can't have with our immigrant parents because it's really difficult for them to understand what American work culture is like and what it's like to be ambitious and want more. And so we get to be each other's sounding board too. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm really grateful for. In addition to understanding personally, like as I think about wanting to build a family, that you can be my sounding board you have so many more years of experience raising two children now too, and seeing that happen firsthand. So
Hmm.
that's something very special in our friendship that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. And for me, I'm so grateful for um the authenticity in our friendship and your authenticity. And I think
Mm,
we've both grown a lot and changed a lot and matured on different dimensions.
yeah.
But our core personalities, the core kind of essence of who we are, I feel is still the same. And especially when we get together. I really feel that. And it's just so fun, because we went
Yeah.
from being very young in school and, working hard for the pink
Yeah.
church to
Yeah.
now like in the world still working hard. But
Mm.
yeah, always having each other as a sounding board and source of support.
Thank you. Grateful for
Thank
you.
you.
We're going to transition now into your joy corner, which I'm really excited for people to hear about things that give you a lot of happiness and joy that maybe people don't know about. So, Christine, what is in your joy corner? Can you share?
So definitely, my family and kids, but I think you're looking for something unexpected.
Yes.
So, um, something that I've kind of reclaimed in my Joey Corner is reading, like long form fiction and novels and things like that.
Yeah.
I was an English major in college. In my reading prime, would be devouring, 3 to 5 books a week. Like, I just
Um,
love to read. And,
yeah.
life happens,
Yeah.
kids, work, all of that. And I still kept reading the news every day,
Yeah.
different articles and obviously social media. And I think I just got to this point where I was just like fatigued of this very
Mhm.
small form, like this bite-sized
Yes.
format. And just, I
Yeah.
love, I also love TV and all the
Yeah.
shows and all this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't
Um,
giving me the right amount of joy anymore. And so,
no.
yeah, got back into reading last year. Um,
That's
I,
so interesting, Christine, because I was just talking about this with some other people that there is something that's very different about picking up a book and
hmm.
actively engaging in a story, whether it's nonfiction or fiction, where you're using your brain and you're taking your mind into this like different place and it's versus something just happening to you, you're just taking in information through social media and or listening to a podcast or a radio, where when you pick up a book and you're reading, you're actively engaging your brain and your mind in a way that is healthier for you.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think you articulated that so well because I do feel that. I do
Yeah,
feel you do have, for me, I had to put a little bit more focus and intentionality
yeah,
into putting all the devices away and
yeah,
just picking up a book. But once I got into it, I think, yeah, it's kind of a fulfilling and restoring type of downtime activity that I've really enjoyed. I bought myself a Kindle mainly because I was like, I need the font to be
yeah.
so much bigger.
Bigger. So you
Yeah,
can read
yeah.
it.
So
Yeah,
things have changed since when I first was reading a lot for me.
totally.
Um, but yeah, like it's been really nice.
Is there a fiction book that you would recommend folks to pick up and maybe read as well that you're really enjoying at the moment?
Yeah, so I there was a series that I had picked up early last year that kind of helped me get into this, and
Hmm.
it's called The Realm of the Elderlings
Hmm.
by a woman named Robin Hobb, and it's a fantasy series, 16 books.
Wow.
So prepare yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you read the first one if if you get
you're
into it,
into
you
it.
keep
Yeah.
going. But I was so into it. In general, I love sci-fi fantasy. I love that
Ah.
genre. So yeah, another, I don't know, surprising fact maybe, but
Oh,
yeah, no, it's so good. It's such a well-woven story. The relationships and characters are so deep. And you know me, Grace, I am not a crier, but this series had me sobbing,
really?
weeping. Yeah, in the best way
Wow.
possible. In the best way possible.
Oh,
Because you know what? Unlike a novel, you have actually spent so much more time with these
yeah.
characters over the course of, 16 books.
Yeah.
And so I think the depth of emotion and how much you've also gone on that journey with them is very different. So,
Amazing.
yeah, the first book in the series is called Assassin's Apprentice.
Ooh, that's a nice
So,
title.
Yeah. Maybe if you can put down your game,
Yes, I can pick
maybe
up
you
a
can.
book instead.
Yes,
The Assassin's
exactly.
Apprentice. I'll check that out.
Hmm. Yeah.
What else is in your joy corner, Christine?
What else?
Isn't it K-beauty? You love like face and hair care?
I love beauty.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a continual element of my joy corner.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that as a part of my work as well, I literally, must explore and try tons of different beauty products and what's out there. But yeah, I think it's so much fun, and I think it's also rewarding to like talk about it and help people on their journey and
Yeah.
find what works for them. And um, I think it's also just been a great part of self-care as well, right? Just
Yeah,
like
that's
taking
true.
those daily moments to spend a
Pamper
little
and
bit
care.
more time on yourself and your routine.
Are there one or two products from hair, facial, or scents? Because I know you're really into scents as well, that you would recommend to folks to check out.
Um, it really depends on what you're looking for. Is there anything that like has been on your mind in terms of beauty or something you're looking for?
I've noticed that my skin has just felt a lot drier lately and it needs
Hmm.
for hydration. So is there a moisturizer that you recommend?
Yes. There is an Ilione ceramide moisturizer that is amazing.
Oh,
I'm gonna send you a link to it. But yeah,
interesting.
no, it's great. My parents just got back from Korea and I had
Huh.
them get me like four bottles, so I can give you one if
Well, I'm
you
going
if
to
you want to
Korea
try it.
soon, so I should go and
Yeah.
get it.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because I think it's like $8 there and 25 here, so you should definitely get it there
This is so
if you
interesting,
can.
Christine,
Mhm.
because I was just talking with Lena about a week ago, and she also mentioned this amazing Ilione
Yeah.
ceramide moisturizer. I wonder if it's the same thing.
It probably is. Yeah, it's great. I can't
Wow.
recommend it enough. Hmm.
And this is like, I don't even know, I had never heard of Ilione before until she mentioned it. Now you're mentioning it here too. So it's like people must know. You
Yes.
know,
And
you know.
then we can talk offline maybe about some other like layering things you can
Oh,
do
that'd
in
be
your
great.
routine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks for sharing what's in your joy corner. Excited about hearing what your useless talent is. Christine, what is your useless talent?
Okay. I have two, but I don't have talents that I can show
Yeah.
live in real time.
Okay.
One of my talents, which I think you've probably observed, is
Uh,
I can sleep pretty much like anywhere at any time, whether
that is
it's
fair.
like traveling on the,
Yeah.
in the car on the bumpy roads in the hillside of Guatemala. I've actually fallen asleep in a meeting before.
What? With your eyes
Yes.
open?
When I was an analyst,
Uh-huh.
my first job out of college, it
Mhm.
was just me and the partner, and we were taking a call with a client in the office, and he was like, "Oh, can you come take notes?" And I think at that time I had a paper and pen, but we had been working really, really hard on different projects, like staying up super late. I was on this call, and at a certain point, I absolutely fell asleep, and my pen like left that streak mark on the I just dozed. I don't even know for how long. Um, Luckily, like I think the part like he kind of understood. I think he thought it was funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep during a meeting and somehow survived in the corporate world.
So
Tell
funny.
about
Well,
it.
you work so hard. That makes sense that what happened. But what a gift that you can fall asleep in the meeting too. That means your eyes were closed. Or you just like passed out in the
Yeah.
middle of like writing notes. Oh,
I
you must have been
really
so tired.
yeah, I really couldn't tell you how long I was out.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one. I think it's a useless talent because again, like that's not anything you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other one I discovered more after I had kids, but it's like when things are falling like randomly, somehow my reflex will pick it up. And but if I'm thinking consciously about it, I absolutely cannot do this. But somehow, like that is my other useless talent because you just can't control it. Like
Is
sometimes
it
at
like
work.
if something is falling off a counter, like a cup of
Yeah, like I just
or
like grab it. Like
and you
I
just
just,
grab it before it falls?
yeah.
Wow, that's actually useful talent, but that's so cool.
But I can't turn it on like
You
on
can't
it.
turn
Like
it
it's
on.
just,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You can't control it. It's just
No.
that is
And I
so
can't prove it here either. So you just have to take my word for it.
well, I'm sure your kids and your husband can attest to it. Um,
Yeah.
but very cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm just grateful that we got to have this conversation and people get a little insight into our friendship journey and just like how much why I love and respect you so much as Christine and as a friend. I'm really just so honored.
Me too. Thanks for having me. It was really, really fun and yeah, good trip down memory lane.
Yeah. And I will get your Rex for K Beauty before I leave. So
Yes. Yeah. I'll send you the link and then we can talk about a few other things.
awesome. To all of our friends listening,
Fighting.
fighting!